Thank you very much. Sunday World. Gauteng, we've got co-conveners. So co-convener is one person, but in practice, it's two people who come forward. So that is why they are invited in that status of an interim structure, which satisfy the ANC constitutional requirement. In case that then we don't have co-conveners, we've got the convener and two deputy conveners. So that's what we have done, and that we have the coordinator in terms of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. So the PTT satisfied the requirement of the ANC constitution in as far as how it has actually been reconfigured in terms of the two provinces. The foundational course is mandatory. In terms of political education, it is mandatory that all our structures must have undergone this foundational course. So if you don't undergo foundational course, it means you will not have your conference at the regional level, at the branch level, and at the national level. That's what will happen. So foundational course is part and parcel of the conference resolutions of the ANC in terms of renewal. In terms of those resolutions of conference, it says that all new members, structures and leadership structures must undergo induction and political education as a compulsory measure in all the structures of the organization. So we've adopted the foundational course, in which all of us, before you get elected, you must have undergone that. Even the NEC current is going to undergo the foundational course. All our PDCs have undergone foundational course. Regions must undergo foundational course before and after. If somebody were to legally use this, that certain structures did not undergo, and as a result, we are in violation. In terms of legality, has got no legal standing. But from a political point of view, we've got measures to enforce it. It means the Secretary General, as the person who signs off on the branches and everybody that they are in good standing, will then withdraw the standing of that structure up until they've undergone the foundational course. For instance, in the Northern Cape, they have been leading in terms of political education and OR Tambo School, but they've been lagging behind in the foundational course. We have instructed them to go back to run the foundational course because it's an important requirement. Throughout this weekend and going forward, and we have deployed as well in the Northern Cape, they've been doing this work of foundational course. So it's not a technical thing, it's a political requirement. We did get the report on the financial standing. We are not having a going concern or bankrupt. We do have financial challenges. It's not correct that people were not paid. They were paid, but not on the date of payment. We're running a huge bill as the ANC in terms of salary bill, and the challenge of being resourced and fundraising is ongoing. And that's what we have said, that we are not a rich political party, and we declare to the IEC religiously, we do, So we must not be questioned like we are dubious or we are a party that does not declare its fundraising and support. We declare religiously. It's there in the... But ANC is big. I've seen other political parties' offices. It's like a constituency office, but it's a national party. You know, the ANC, if you come to Luthuli House, it's a big machine, which is reflective of what the ANC is, the largest political party in the country. We are unmatched when it comes to that. So, you wouldn't find anything wrong on those parties who are still efficient, running according to what they have. But we are the biggest political party, and our salary bill is huge. And so that is one of the challenges we have to deal with from time to time. And if I can tell you how much is the ANC salary bill per month, you will fall apart. So, no, I've got no mandate to do that. I was not elected to announce financial status. TG, you can ask, she will tell you. And it is in her right to decide to tell you or not. She will make that determination. It will be wrong for me to pronounce on finances to that detail, as if we don't have Treasurer General. That's the person who oversees and elected to oversee our finances. And she reports. She's doing a proper job. Even in this meeting, she reported in detail, good report to the NEC. So we are updated about the state of finance and the challenge ever present of fundraising for the ANC. The Buffalo City, we will convene Buffalo City to the officials. The intervention team has gone there. They will give us a report. We have read newspaper reports with regard to the city, but we are dealing with it. We don't want to report hearsay. So in the next coming weeks, we will be engaging with Buffalo City. Mzwandile Mpeje, you ask how far are we? We are at the portfolio committee now. I'm sure it's on at 10. It will be reflective as to whether we are able to move all of us together going forward in terms of adopting the framework of the budget and then going into Parliament tomorrow. So that will be reflected. But I can tell you that there's been a back and forth between us and parties. We do have a draft framework on the table to engage all parties in the GNU, having spoken to everybody. We think now there are bases for us to have an agreement with everyone, not only with the DA, but everybody in the GNU and even beyond those who agree with us. The thorny issue in terms of the budget have been the question of VAT. And we have always argued as the ANC that right from the onset, when Treasury came up with 2%, we did not agree. We did not agree, but we ran out of options in terms of what we need to do, except to cushion us to have a 0% intervention, which is not permanent. As our economic situation increases, it not increases, our economic situation is perfected. This 0% is not permanent, will be withdrawn. And then also, there's a whole lot of other things on the basket that are being addressed going forward. Even the spending, those issues, President put them long before us that they need to be addressed. The DA raises that particular issue. We say, but it has already been addressed. Some of the issues that have been addressed do not belong to the budget now. We need to engage on them, but people want agreement that there should be guarantees that these matters will be addressed, and so on. They raise issues of devolution, and all of that. We are addressing the question of devolution in terms of government in the rail policy, and so on. There's been overzealousness to say that ANC have reached an agreement with the DA. We don't have an agreement. We have been engaging on their issues that they've put across. But to suggest that there is an agreement between us and them is not correct. We have been engaging everybody in the GNU, including the DA. DA have had a catalogue of issues, and they shift from time to time from one position to the other. And it's difficult when you are in negotiations and people leak to the media. And then there is Gulam and so on in the mix of negotiations. It now polarizes the negotiation. We need to pass the budget for the sake of South Africa, but at the same time, we need to be alive and talk to others. And that is what we are clear as the ANC. We are the largest party. We need to talk to others and all of that. It's not really concessions. It's about what has the minister presented before us. And that we think that does not address most of the concerns that people have raised in their political parties. So that's why we've been open with everyone and to engage. And we hope that we will find a solution with everyone and we'll be able to pass the budget and follow up on the concerns that other political parties, including those who are not in the GNU, have actually raised, which I think by early hours of this morning and late last night, in our engagement, I believe that we are moving close to each other. So that closeness will then be consolidated into an agreement because this is our first budget of the GNU that we need to pass. And then what that agreement will entail is going to be important for everyone to have an oversight of it and then agree on the way forward. If you engage with this process on the basis of political scoring, and then it may lead to situations where in which GNU itself, at the ultimate, given the outcome, have to be reconfigured. The ANC is committed to the GNU with all its partners, but the maturity of partners is very important in relation to this GNU. The ANC have got no intention where we've got Indoni Zembe ngesilungu. The ANC is not wielding an axe that we want to cut people in the GNU. They will cut themselves out and will proceed. And that's what is important. But at the end of the day, we are committed to the country and we are very much confident that we will cross and with a major breakthrough sometime this week going forward. That's where we actually stand. But if people come with political agendas that they want to be seen to be doing things in a different manner, it will affect the GNU in the long term, and that's what we need to understand. But as the ANC, we have shown commitment. We are working with everybody and to find a solution to the matters of the budget. I am not privy at the present moment to talk about the inner details of the negotiations, what other parties have raised with us and so on. It will be disingenuous on our part and negotiating in bad faith. You talk to people and then thereafter you call the press conference and announce who said what and all of that. So we are moving closer to one another and with a full understanding that we need to listen to one another going forward for the sake of the country. We engaged in this GNU, as I conclude, not for ourselves, but for national interest and putting people first. And that's what is important, that everyone need to then understand. The Constitution and the laws of the country have been strengthened Now, if you get arrested and you are accused of rape, you are not entitled to bail. I think that's what is important. Whether we can do something even more beyond that, I think it is possible to do that. Where will women and our kids be safe? When they go to the crèche, your child can be raped. When they go to school, they are exposed and all of that. So these animals, the law must grind. So we fully agree with that. And it's important that we need to deal with them harshly in terms of the law. You see, when a person is sick, rape a 7-year-old, it's not a question of consciousness that you need to convert this person. He's an animal. There's nothing you can do about that. It's not a person who can rape a 7-year-old. That's not a human being. And that's why we say AfriForum goes and defends such people. Animals, raping 7-year-old. I mean, that is even beyond animals. I don't know. It's cannibalism. So such people, the law must be harsh on them. DA will oppose the budget. Yes, we have heard them. They have said that. But we have been engaging and talking to them, even with that opposition. So we've been talking to them and talking to everybody. If they don't participate, will that have implications in restructuring GNU? Obviously, everything has got implications going forward. It does. Even those you think can be close to us have got their own conditions about what they want and should actually happen going forward. So we are here as the largest political party with the minister who have delivered the budget, and then there are issues in relation to that budget that we are debating with a host of political parties who are in the government of national unity. Lastly, the DA says the ANC is anti-poor. That's a joke. I mean, it's a fabrication that they have just concocted. They know why they are opposed to 0.5%. And they cannot be the ones who advocate for cushioning the poor and all of that. That's not the case. This is just political statement. They must come back to reality and engage with the ANC and everybody on real issues that we're confronted with. The refugee centers, that is just madness, that you can build refugee centers in a country as peaceful as South Africa and claim that people are subjected to genocide. The real genocide is happening there in the Middle East. And then that is what needs to be curtailed and even work with everybody to find a solution. So this thing that there is genocide in South Africa is a total unfounded fabrication. Yes, there was a report on Integrity Commission. Once we report to the Integrity Commission, post to the NEC, we will make the NEC position on this matter public. That's what we'll do. And you are correct. It was a case of Limpopo. It has been processed. The NEC have taken a decision. I will write to the Integrity Commission to inform them about the NEC decision on the matter. There were 3 recommendations, not on individuals per se, but on how the ANC can improve matters that may impact on its integrity as a party in relation to the individuals concerned. VBS is closed. I came to you, we went to an NEC meeting, we discussed VBS, I convened a press conference, I briefed you that NEC have resolved. Everyone who has been affected by VBS, if they are still in government, municipal managers and everybody must step aside if they are arrested. Okay? And that has happened. A lot of people are in court. Others have been arrested. There's even a white man who was the architect of VBS. I'm sure he's out now on parole. He went in and then quickly became a state witness and all of that. But all those kingpins have been arrested. The fundamental issue now about VBS that must be resolved with the Reserve Bank and everybody. What happens to the Magogos who invested in that scheme, in VBS, and their monies were embezzled? But over and above, the future of VBS itself, that must be addressed for the people of Bembe and so on. But as the ANC, the matter of VBS is closed. Florence was not arrested. He was put on step aside for the longest of time. The NEC resolved and did not communicate that time with the Integrity Commission about its resolution. That Florence and Denim Caesar at some point must come back. Florence came back and then was never arrested. It is correct that there are other people who were implicated, but they too were not arrested. Denim Caesar was arrested and he was put on step aside. He's still on step aside and he's on trial on VBS. All people who are implicated, who have put their hands on VBS in all municipalities across the country, we have put them on step aside as the ANC. As it is, the wheels of justice are grinding with regard to them. Others are already serving time inside. So that must be understood. We went to the NEC, we gave a report, blow by blow, province by province. Who is affected and all of that, and the NEC took a decision that these people who are implicated must be prosecuted. Right? Now we can't deal with people with prejudice. If the state does not have a case against individuals and they don't arrest them, we can't arrest them. And they've got their own case in which they have given evidence even to the Integrity Commission about what actually happened. But those, an NPA must be supported in this regard, because a lot of people are facing cases with this VBS matter. And that's where it is. And we are not harboring suspects and all of that. Should anyone be arrested, he will face the law. And that's what is happening. Newsroom, I've answered the question. DA have raised a whole lot of issues, and sometimes they are confusing. Who's raising the issues? I can't deal with faceless sources. A document is leaked. We don't deal with Mzagazaka. We can only deal with what is submitted to us in terms of the discussions. And that is submitted to us in terms of the DA, you all know what it is. Dissolution, spending, and all of those things, Operation Vulindlela, all of those matters are not things that can make us not to pass the budget as the ANC from where we stand. Those are not the issues that can make us not to. 0.5%, we move from 2% to 0.5%, but over and above that, this is not a permanent feature of our budget. Okay? We agree that we're not going to borrow. There are issues in terms of spending that they are raising. These are matters that we believe that should be discussed going forward between us and everyone going forward. What are ANC compromises? We agree with the budget, and there are issues with regard to VAT. That has become the major issue, and we have put across solutions in relation to what must happen around that, and we are dealing with that matter with everyone else in terms of this particular issue in the process of discussions and negotiations. There are parties who said to us it's a no-no. We will not support anything with VAT and so on. Now, you can't discuss with people who just come with one issue. And then the rest, you ask, where do you stand? There is no comprehensive position on their part, but we're talking to everyone. And we're confident that at the end of the day, the budget will pass. Thank you.